Hi friends, my name is Al or Lilstarnerd. Welcome to today's video. This video is all about my first ever market, from kind of like the beginning of the process to my thoughts and profit and all that stuff, the post stuff. A little bit vloggy, a little bit talky, and there's even a little tiny bit of art in there. Before we get started, I do want to thank GSJJ for sponsoring this video. When they reached out to me with like the possibility of working with me, it could not have come at a better time. I was so excited and I pounced on the opportunity. But I was like, listen, this is gonna sound crazy, but how do you feel about like helping me out with this market, working with me and getting it done within a matter of weeks? Crazy fast turnaround. And they were so for it. They were such a great sport. Like, they were so great to work with, very kind, very helpful. And they pulled it off. I honestly don't even know how they pulled it off, but they did. I had such a great time working with them for my market. So let me tell you a bit about them, just in case you want to get some goodies for yourself. GSJJ makes all sorts of promotional products, from stickers, enamel pins, trading cards, medals, ornaments. They have all sorts of stuff. Anything you might want for your shop for merch, like, they've got. They have an independent design system on their website, and they also offer free assistance with your order and your design, so that way you don't have to worry about mistakes. I know, as someone who's not like super tech savvy, all the different like file types and all that stuff, it does get a little confusing, but they're there to help you, and that's awesome. They also offer like worry-free returns, so if there is something wrong, you don't gotta worry about it. And for all you small business owners out there like me, they do offer free shipping, which is such a bonus, and small quantities are not a problem. Not only do they offer great products to creatives like you, but they also offer amazing services at great prices. All the links you'll need will be down below. Make sure to check them out. Make sure to let GSJJ know that it was worth their while to sponsor me. Thank you so much to GSJJ for sponsoring this video and helping me out and making this market happen. Let's get on with it. Let me also give you a bit of information about the market that you're gonna be seeing in this video. This is the Backyard Bazaar Market in Newport Richey. I went on April 8th, so the day before Easter, which I think might have really helped, I don't know. I think I knew about it. I like applied and got in back in February, or like really early, like late February, early March. It's an artisan market, so there's like no food vendors. It's not a farmer's market. It's specifically for creatives and small businesses. And what's really interesting is this is a night market, so it runs from 6 to 10 p.m., which is very interesting, very different than anything I was expecting to do. I do plan on going to this market a few more times throughout the year, so make sure you're following me on Instagram, because I will post about it there most frequently. So if you are local, if you people came to see me, if you also want to like see me get some art, that's a great time to do it. So just like make sure you're keeping your eye out for that. All right, now let's go. I think I got the last of the major stuff that I need, I think, for my table. So I'm gonna do a quick setup. I mean, that's not true. It's a night market, so I know I need lighting, but I wanna go there and see what other people have before I buy too much else. I'm gonna see what what it looks like. Okay. One of the things that I just got was the tablecloth. A lot of stuff is like required, which I understand, but like tablecloth that covers all 4 legs is required. Like, you need to have a canopy. There's so much stuff that like just to get started with this is so expensive. Oh, this is the perfect color. I got the ivory color, and it's like a really pale yellow, and that fits like my branding really nice. I got the grid things. I saw on TikTok someone was like, oh, instead of like paying a bunch of money, buy a like guinea pig enclosure. But I looked for just like a shelf, like this kind of shelf, and it was like a few bucks cheaper on Amazon. So, I mean, the guinea pig thing looked like it would work though. This was something I really wanted to avoid getting, so I wouldn't have to spend the money on it. But I think if you're doing prints, it's pretty much like necessary. It needs like a base. Well, maybe I can just go like this though. Yeah, I think that would work. Okay, okay. That was easier. You know what? Give me a few minutes to figure this out. I honestly don't want to talk about how long that took me. That was so difficult. Oh, it's huge. It's bigger than I thought it would be. Cause that's just like, cause then I can only stand here. I mean, do I need more space? Well, you know what? Let me see how much space my prints take up. I have little tiny clothespins. I have a feeling I'll need more. I also have to take into account like prints that I don't currently have but will be putting up. And I think I should probably put up 8x10s. Cute. Okay, so theoretically that works. And I think I am gonna need it to be this big, but that's huge. Which means like I have to be over here. Okay, we'll make it work. So then I also have this thing that I made. It's really shoddy, okay? The pins and the stickers will be up here. And then to hold the stickers, I got these little trays because originally I was just gonna keep them in the drawers that I store them in, but that was taking up so much space. Oh, okay, this is really cute. I have a little business card holder, but it barely holds anything, so I'm probably gonna put just like a loose stack on both corners. And I'm gonna make a little sign that says like, take me, because I know every time I watch a video like of other artists doing this, they always have to tell people that it's okay to take free stuff. Like that there, that there. And then here's the thing that's gonna have like payment information. I'm gonna bring my zines, but I'm gonna have two kinds. So I think some of the zines will go in here. I think I'm just gonna have to put them in here and make dividers myself. I think that's really my only option. Okay, that works. So I just wanna make some cute signs and payment information stuff and decorate it a little bit. But I feel a little overwhelmed, so I'm not gonna figure that out in this moment. I want to do one more dry run outside with the canopy weights, and like literally do everything. So when I get to that point, hopefully I'll have this stock and I'll do a much more thorough job. But for now, I know that I don't need to buy anything else, so I feel good. Okay, I'll talk to you later. Okay. I'm really quickly running into a like hospice thrift store because I know they have baskets. I want to get some extra baskets, and if I can find something to weigh stuff down, but I might have to like go to Home Depot for bricks. But I'm looking for baskets to hold. I honestly forget at this point, but I think I'm looking for baskets for enamel pins and then for prints. I think I need 2 or 3 baskets, so we're gonna go. I brought a tape measure so I can make sure everything fits. Let's go. Okay, it's the 29th, so there's about a week and a half before the market, and a while ago I got like a lot of the stock in, and I want to show you. Later today, like right after this, I'm gonna do a dry run of setup. I'm gonna put all the stock out, like really make sure that every tiny little detail is figured out. And before I do that, I've been saving like all the stuff to show you. I haven't unpackaged it yet so we can do it together. Of course, there's all of these prints. They turned out great. There are a few new ones, which I'll show you. I made sure to order some extra beach ones so I could have some like Florida-y type stuff. So some of the new ones, I realized one of my old Make It Gays I actually forgot to turn into a print, so this time I did. And then also my most recent Make It Gay, Daphnis and Chloe, I made into prints obviously, and I think they both turned out so gorgeous. The colors are amazing. So after like the market, I'll be putting all of this stuff up on my shop, whatever is like left over. So hopefully you guys will be able to get your hands on those new prints. I think this is the only other new thing. I got a lot of requests since this video came out to make the Guatemalan street market from the Yahoo video, to make this into a print. So I did, I made it into a print finally. But yeah, my stock is super low in my shop right now because I was already due for a reorder, but I didn't want to like I wanted to make sure I had enough stock for the market. So I haven't like filled in any of the empty spots in the shop. So I definitely have enough stock for the market now. Now the really exciting stuff is the new products from GSJJ. I'm so excited. Everything looks so good already. Oh, wow. These feel really nice. The color quality on these is insane. I think these are so saturated and they look so good. This is so spot on to what I sent them. Like, I don't know if it'll pick up on camera, but like the saturation of this is gorgeous. The colors look like genuinely stunning. Okay, here's an entirely new sticker that I've made the manatee stickers before. They were just like holographic. This is an entirely new sticker and I love it. Oh my God, okay. These might be one of my new favorite stickers. This is so gorgeous. These are way bigger than I thought they would be, and they are such good quality. They have a really nice satin finish. They have a split in the back so you can peel them really easily. This is like an option that I chose to have the split in the back. I definitely think it's worth it. That looks great. Oh my gosh, they look so good. Okay. Oh my gosh, this just looks so Florida. I really love these oranges as well. I'm just thrilled. I'm so glad. I was really worried about like which stickers I was getting and whether or not that they would be good. Now that I'm seeing them, I'm so happy with all of them. I can see these doing well in markets and my shop, so I'm so happy. Next up, this is what I was most nervous for, the enamel pins. I've never designed enamel pins before. I didn't really know how it worked when I was designing them. Okay, so they all come in these individual plastic bags, which I'm gonna keep them in that for the market. So let me open one. Oh my God, it looks so good. Oh my gosh. The tiger I was most nervous about because I really didn't know where the metal should be. This turned out so sick. This is so cool. I never thought that I would ever like make enamel pins. This is so exciting. Now I'm gonna go try and set up the booth in the backyard. And like I said, just make sure I have every tiny little detail figured out. Do a dry run of the setup, make sure like our canopy tent is broken. So I need to make sure I physically can use it before, I go there. So we're gonna do a full dry run from setup to takedown. So let's go. Okay. Oh God. I want it to be forward enough that people aren't like having to come in, but I do want it to be back a little bit enough that the lights will hit it. She's hanging out with me. I said I wanted to do a full dry run of everything, but I honestly don't want to bring all of my prints out here and to clip up all of my prints, but I know I should. I will. I'll do it. Okay. I forgot to say, my great uncle gave me a bunch of prints. He is an artist, so he gave me 20 prints that he like matted and put his business card in to put in my booth. So I'm very excited about that. That I need to make a sign for. Oh, this was for this. Okay, this is what I've got for prints hanging up. They're not all up there, but I think this might be the best I can do for now. I pulled out a few like ones that I don't think are gonna sell that I won't hang up. I might bring, but I won't hang up, but we'll see. I mean, this could always go here, actually. This could go here. Yeah. That's cute. That's nice. Okay, officially, this is what I've got. Until the only things I have left is pricing information. So like this little acrylic sign still needs to be filled with the QR stuff. I need to sign that. I need to replace that frame. And then everything needs to be like priced. So there needs to be signage. But I think it looks really good. So for the prints, I've got them just like separated so you can kind of just flip through, and everything should be on display. And I'm gonna have a little sign that says like, if you need help finding a print, let me know. So there should be nothing like keeping someone from coming up and like getting stuff themselves, which is, you know, what I wanted. Okay. Maybe I'm just really stupid. I bought these weights because every like canopy needs weights at the base of the canopy. So I bought these on Amazon. They said waterproof, and I don't know what that meant. I thought you could fill it with water. So I filled this one with water. It fully leaks. Like the entire seaming on the bottom just immediately almost emptied right away. So that's not gonna work. So I'm gonna go buy sand and fill them with sand, which might be better because that way maybe I can keep it in this, like keep the sand in there instead of having to fill it with water every time. Am I I thought waterproof would mean that I could fill it with water. I don't know. I guess I'm really dumb. So that was like one of the most important things that I do today is test those. I can't, but I think they're straightforward. You just Velcro them to the legs. So literally all I have to do is sign. So I'm gonna make a list of all this like pricing stuff that I need to do, like anything that I still need to do. I'm gonna make a list so that way I can disassemble this because I'm afraid to leave it for too long out in the elements. But I feel good about this. I think it looks really nice, full, colorful. Maybe not the most organized, but I think it's fine. As you just saw, I barely got any footage of the market at all. Whenever I watched a lot of market videos like in preparation for this, and I was always like, why, you know, it's so much prep and then it's 2 seconds of the market and then it's like 10 minutes of talking, and I never got why people didn't vlog more at the market. Like, I get it now. I was so like stressed and nervous and self-conscious and busy and trying to concentrate, and the last thing on my mind was like trying to get a good shot. Even when I did have like a lull to do that, I didn't want to like be drawing attention to myself or like, I don't know. It was really like, I wanted to focus. I wanted to stay in my lane. So let me give you I'm gonna try to go really fast, like a rundown of the event. So like I said, this was the Backyard Bazaar. I don't know the name of the man who runs it, but I do know that he's incredibly nice and that he's really good at what he does. I've heard a lot of horror stories about events and markets being really poorly organized and just being a nightmare for creators to go there at all. But I had such a smooth time. He was super helpful. He sent out an email a few days before and it was so thorough, all about parking, like where to go, how to unload, how to like leave and take down, all that stuff. And it was just like so thorough. As instructed, I got there at around 4 o'clock, which I thought was the earliest that you could get there, but people were already setting up. And when I got there, he was right there and he like directed me to my spot and was very, very helpful. So it starts at 6. So I started setting up probably like 4:05. Like I pulled up to the side of like my spot and my mom and my sister came. We all unloaded my car really fast. And then my mom went and parked my car across the street while my sister and I started to set up. The first thing you had to do was set up your canopy and the weights, and you couldn't do anything else until you did that. So we started with that. And like I said, this guy was just so nice and so good at his job. Anytime that I felt a moment of stress, it's like his spidey senses tingled because he would just appear and he like fixed any issue that I had. But so after my mom parked, she came back, we set everything up, and I, you know, kind of delegated tasks, and we set up, I think, with a good like 20 minutes to spare. People were already milling about like halfway through setup, in fact trying to buy from certain vendors, which was stressing me out because like I was like, no one can disrupt me. Dear God. I had my sister doing like pinning up the display stuff while I kind of set everything out. It was kind of windy. My display held up really well with the wind. Thank God for the bricks that I got from my aunt. Thank you. The sun was shining. I was getting sweaty. It was a lot of hard work. I was stressed and I was like kind of cranky, but we got it done and it turned out looking really great. Here, I'll put up some pictures of my display, even though you saw it in the thing. I'll put up some pictures. And then the night happened. It was pretty good traffic flow. This was a really small event. I think there's about maybe 30 vendor tents. Very small, chill event to kind of test the water, see if this is for me before I invest too much time and money. There were 2 booths to the left of me with 2 young women working them. They were both super, I was really nervous, and my sister kept telling me like, go meet people, go like talk to the other vendors, which I know you're supposed to do, but I was like, I'm not this time, you know, I'll do it next time. They came and talked to me, and they were so nice and so supportive and so sweet. I can't remember their names off the top of my head, but I will put both of their accounts right here so you can go check them out. They were just so nice, and I am really looking forward to like I'm hoping that I get to see them at future markets too. And then also, because I, you know, advertised about this, some viewers came to see me. So huge shout out to Lisa and her boyfriend, Mary and Thea, and a few other people whose names I can't remember. Please let me know who you are. Thank you so much for coming to see me. I cannot tell you how amazing that felt. That made me feel like so much more confident about my day overall. Like for real, you don't know what that meant to me. It was so wonderful. I'm sorry if I was awkward. Truly just such an amazing experience. Overall, I had a great time. Takedown was like easy. We had to leave about 45 minutes early because it was starting to rain. So he shut it down early, but it was fine. Everything went really smoothly. I had a really good overall experience. And a lot of that was thanks to the wonderful people, the event coordinator, the other vendors, and the people who came to see me. So just thank you to everyone. Also, thank you to GSJJ for giving me stock, and that like gave me such a huge confidence boost going in because I was really worried that I was just gonna have nothing. And a huge thank you to my mom and sister for being there to help me, because if I didn't have them, I probably would have not been able to do it at all. Okay, now let's get into like more of the nitty-gritty stuff. I asked if you guys had any questions, and you did. So we're gonna talk about some of the info stuff, because I know it can be super intimidating to branch out into this whole new part of your art sphere. I know it really was for me, and it took a lot of time and research. So any way I can help, I'm happy to do so. A huge question I got, and one that I knew I would get because I had the same question, is like, how do you find markets? Like, how? Literally all I did was Google art markets near me, specifically art markets, and I just looked through all of the ones that were recommended to me, and I looked at all the ones, like the very local ones, started small, with smaller table fees, that what the application process looked like what was feasible for me. Like I said, this is the one that worked best for me. It had a lower table fee. It was only $40. It was very local, and it didn't require a picture of your booth to apply. That seems to be something very common for people. He like just looked at my account and was like, yeah, for sure, come. So like I said, this gave me the opportunity to figure out my setup, so that way I can, like, I took a picture of it while I was there, and now I have that and that experience to like help me better apply to future, like literally to apply to other markets. Also about finding markets, I think a major thing is like finding a local one like this and like slowly branching out. Just like find and go to as many as you can, whether as a vendor or as a customer. Find as many as you can, and then like when you're there, like talk to the vendors. The 2 women who talked to me, they gave me great tips on other places that I can go, and like with, you know, cheap table fees and all that stuff. So I think talking to other vendors who know what they're doing is like the key. So some tips on setup based on like again, this is like a first time thing. This is what I learned my first time doing it. I'm not like genuinely giving advice. I'm talking to you like through the process, because like I don't know everything yet because it was my first one. For the setup, I was really lucky because I got to drive right up to my spot and then unload. If I had to I have thankfully a beach wagon that I would have used. That would have been like trickier. And if I was alone, it would have been a lot harder. So thankfully I had people to come with me. So I definitely think having someone to come with you, packing everything as compact as possible. Like I was putting as many things into one bin as possible. If you're in an outdoor space and you need a canopy, having a good quality and easy to set up canopy is so important. So yeah, setup was like pretty straightforward, pretty simple. It's like especially because I got to pull up right next to it. It was just a matter of unload my car, park my car, do exactly what I did in the backyard. A lot of people ask like, how did I pick what I was gonna sell? How does stock work? I literally just brought all of my inventory of everything that I have. Obviously, it's easier for me because I already have an Etsy shop. So if you're like making products for a market specifically, I would really consider like local stuff. Go to a market, see what sells, see what's popular, see what other people are making, and just consider like who your target audience is gonna be. What are they gonna want to buy from you? There was an attempt for me to display some more Florida-y things. I got the flamingo and the orange stickers with that in mind. And those actually did draw a lot of people in. I made sure like the beach thing, like I wanted like the beachy Florida-y stuff to be visible, and that drew a lot of like the older crowd into my table. But yeah, I've heard some people say that they try to be like really picky about what they bring, but like I didn't have that much stuff, so I just brought everything. And then as for quantity, I just brought whatever I had on hand. Like there were some things that I didn't have enough of, and I just kind of worked with what I had, especially knowing that I probably wasn't going to sell a lot of stuff. How did I price what I brought? So essentially I just priced it at about the same as what it is in my Etsy shop, and like some things were like $1 less. I really do try and price all of my stuff like fairly, like what I genuinely think it's worth. So like where I go isn't really gonna change what I'm pricing things as. As for originals, I just followed my gut. There's kind of a rule of like, if it's something that you really don't want to part with, price it as high as you as you feel comfortable going, and like that way you won't feel bad. It'll be worth it to sell it for that amount. And I kind of did a little bit of that. Also, I had to really consider their size. I had a lot of really, really tiny originals, but it's still an original. So they were like all $20 if they were about the same size, and people seemed fine with that. So what sold? Like what was successful? Shockingly, like I was very surprised with how things did. I'd say it was a pretty even, like there was nothing that like sold a lot, but there were some things that didn't sell at all. Originals, shockingly, I was really not expecting to get rid of originals. Originals did pretty well. I had my great uncle stuff on the table. He sold 2 paintings, and I think I sold 3 or 4 originals, one of which cost $50. And then I tried to make sure that I had plenty of small cheap things on the table. The 4x6 prints, which were also like on sale, didn't sell at all. No one even looked their way. A lot of people were more interested in the bigger prints. And somehow stickers didn't really sell. Every once in a while I would sell a sticker, but yeah, mainly like bigger ticket items sold better. Okay, so a little bit about the money. We're not gonna talk about like profit and is it worth it yet, but just a breakdown of some money stuff. The price of the booth was $40. That was all I paid. Some people thought that maybe I gave a cut of like my like whatever I made, like bought. Does that make what? No, I just paid $40 and that was it. That's all the money I gave to the place. I took money. I think it's really important to like have as many money options as possible. I don't want anyone to walk away because they can't figure out how to pay me. So I took Venmo, PayPal, cash, and card. For a card, I got a Square reader, and I think like I just got it for free. You just like go apply online, and I think, or like you sign up for it or whatever, and then you like they get a cut, a small fee, which like fine. So worth it. It was so convenient. I also had like that little QR code sign. That was so vital. Like, oh my God, everyone. So shockingly, like cash and Venmo were the most popular. No one used PayPal. And I think I only used the Square 2, maybe 3 times. Venmo, I used 4 or 5 times. So having that QR code was super important. As for sales tax, this is probably different for every state. I had to file with the Department of Revenue and do some paperwork. It specifically said, like, if you do markets, fill out this. So it was pretty straightforward. And then they like send you something in the mail, one of which is like a certificate or something that you have to, I brought it with me. Technically I was supposed to display it. I didn't. You know, it says that I'm allowed to do that. And then they also send you another thing that's like, here's what you collect. Mine was 7%. So I had a little receipt book. And in that receipt book, I would like add the 7%. How did I decide how to set up my table? I was mainly working around the grid. Like that took up so much space. There was only so many ways I could do that. So I was basically working around that and just trying to make it look nice. The grid definitely worked well. It wasn't perfect, but I genuinely don't know how I can do better. And trust me, I've thought about it. I've thought about different ways that I could do it. I don't know what could be better than that, because a lot of people really liked being able to get like right up in front of it and like really look at the detail. It's what caught people's eye. People were using it to pick out what they wanted. Most people did not flip through anything at all. I would pull stuff out for them. So the grid definitely seemed like important to my table. It just wasn't the best that it could be. When setting my table, I really thought about like a lot of stuff, and I really tried to plan and think about when I go to a market, what makes me not go up to a booth? And then I tried to avoid all of those things. I needed it to be as welcoming as possible. If you're someone like with anxiety, I needed there was plenty of signage, information, pricing. That way no one had to ask me a question if they didn't want to. They didn't have to have that awkward like, oh, how much is this? Ooh, and walk away. Like everything that you needed was there. You could flip through things, you could touch things, everything was on display and visible. So I really tried it. Like that's what I was thinking about when doing table setup. Some things that I would do differently, maybe an L shape. There was an issue of like when people were up there wasn't much room for anyone else to come to the table at all. And so people would just pass instead of coming in at all. I kind of feel like that's kind of just the nature of it. I don't know that an L would work great for me or be something that I could use at every event, but it is something for me to think about. I don't know if there's much else that I would do differently as of right now. I think a lot of changes that will happen to my booth will come with experience and trial and error, because it held up really well. You know, there was light rain, there was pretty decent wind, and I didn't have any issues. I liked the flow of it, I liked the setup. People seemed to be able to work with it easily enough. I think the one thing that I'm gonna have to work on is print flip-through ability. Some people asked about dealing with like nerves or imposter syndrome or like rejection and failure. Like, was it hard for me feeling like I didn't belong there or whatever? So I had to apply to get in. The guy saw my Instagram and he like invited me to apply. Not because like he found me, but on the website it was like, we're full, ask me if you should apply anyways because we might need you to fill in. So I was like, I DM'd him and I was like, hey, should I bother applying? And he was like, oh yeah. So he didn't reach out to me, just to be clear. But like I knew that I was wanted there, you know what I mean? So I didn't feel weird about that at all. You know, I felt really confident. I am confident about my skill in general. I know that I'm good at what I do, even if my audience isn't here, like as in a target audience, people aren't buying my stuff here. I know that they will other places. So, you know, whatever. I also really try to keep this event really low pressure. I mean, when I say I had zero expectations, I had zero expectations. I was expecting to sell nothing at all. Really, truly was expecting this to be a total flop. I knew I was going to lose money. So that kind of stuff was not a concern. And yeah, like if someone walked up and just like wasn't interested or didn't want to buy my stuff, I didn't take it personally. I know I do that to other people. Like I have been on the other side of the table and I know that it's not personal. So why would I take it personally? Just because like the person who walks by isn't within my target audience does not mean that I am a failure. Whether or not markets work for me doesn't mean that my career is over. You know what I mean? So not a big deal. A few people asked, like, as someone without an audience, should I pursue markets? Absolutely. I think I'm someone who uses social media, so I don't know, but I would imagine that this is exactly what you should be investing your time in. If you are someone who doesn't want to use social media or social media isn't working for you or you don't have a huge audience, absolutely you should be going to your local art community, artisan markets, things like that. You are bringing your art to your possible customers rather than having to deal with the stupid SEO algorithm, whatever. The only thing I would say is a few people, who asked this question were like, I don't know if I'll make the money back, friends haven't. One thing I would say is like, you really do have to take an honest look at your work and ask yourself like, is this something that enough people want to buy? Is this skill level good enough? Is what I am doing like at a skill level where I have a large enough audience pool or customer base? If you're not there yet, that's okay. Don't rush into it. Don't give yourself a bad experience because you're not actually ready. So make sure you really are truly ready. Some of the most important things I learned and then some things that I would do differently next time. Talk to your fellow vendors. They have the tea. They know what's up. They give great advice. Make friends. Talking to vendors is so, so important. Be as prepared as possible. Like I have been prepping so hard, packing my car, like knowing how to pack my car, doing it efficiently. I practiced packing my cart in case I would need to bring the beach cart. I packed hours in advance rather than waiting until it was time to go. I reviewed the plan on like getting there and parking. I practiced setting up multiple times. Bring snacks and water, especially if you are in Florida, bring water. Have as many payment options as possible. I think a huge thing for me was having that grid. So I would say like definitely have something large, dynamic, colorful, something eye-catching on your table to draw people in. Next time I would like to try to pack things a bit more efficiently and more compactly so I have fewer things overall to carry. I definitely need to focus more on the larger items rather than the cheaper items, which again surprises me. I do want to keep working on the like functional displays for things like stickers and prints, or at least the things that go on the table. I definitely need a better rain plan, and I would like to find some markets with more foot traffic, more popularity. Was it worth it? How much money did I make? So I kept track of mostly, some things probably fell through the cracks, but I kept track of everything that I had to buy to prepare for this market. And in total, I spent about $500. Which is a lot. Of course, to be fair and objective, I would not spend this much every time. A lot of stuff that I had to buy for this first one was like investment stuff. Like I didn't have anything to do, like to use at a market. So I had to buy a lot of the display stuff, the grid, the tablecloth. And a lot of that stuff is not something that I will have to buy for every market. And then a lot of it was stock. Like a lot of the money was for stock for the market, which was stuff that I needed to buy anyway and will roll over into my Etsy shop. So without the investment stuff, like the kind of one-time purchase, I only actually spent around $350. I had 10 total sales, 5 of which were from viewers, people who came to see me. $40 worth came from my great uncle, but he did say that I could keep the money. So from those sales, I made $240-ish in total, which isn't bad. Not a profit. Obviously I didn't even make half of what I spent for this one, but considering like the overall experience and this being my first one, I asked my great uncle, I was like, I did 10 sales, like how is that? And he's like, oh, for your first time, that's pretty good. Like I said, I had a great time. I don't think it was really that bad, and I didn't lose that much money as much as I could, considering I was not expecting to make any money at all. I really love the experience. I would like for markets to be a regular thing for me, but if we're looking objectively at this event alone and like the money aspect, it probably wasn't worth it, especially considering half my sales came from viewers, which I can't guarantee that will happen every time. But I don't want to like say that they're not worth it overall quite yet. I definitely think it's something that I should try a few more markets and for a few more months at least and and see if it's a viable like long-term option for me. The people that I met definitely said that it's something that you have to like invest time into, and as you kind of build up a client base, your name gets out there locally a bit more and like you make a lot more money that way. And I've only tried like one place and it was a really small one. So if I did like this well at this really small event, I'd like to imagine that at something with like 3 times the amount of foot traffic, I could do 3 times the amount of sales. So I'd say like overall, yes, it was worth it in the sense that I had a really good time and I think there's potential to make money, but I'm not gonna like make that claim yet. And I'm also not gonna say it's not worth it. But there we go. That's all I have to say about the market. I had so much fun. Again, thank you if you came, and thank you to GSJJ for sponsoring and helping me. Oh my gosh. Make sure to check them out down below. Also remember to subscribe, like this video, comment, etc., etc. That's it for me. I will see you guys next time. Go brush your teeth, drink a lot of water, go do some art. Bye.